Are you thinking about driving or renting a car in Japan? If so, this is the video for you. This is the video that I wish I had when I was choosing whether I would rent a car or not. I'm basically going to cover fuel stations, road etiquette, some of the road rules, and some of the differences that you might find from driving in your home country to driving in Japan. So let's break down some of these, starting with the first one that you should definitely know, which is where you stop in the traffic lights. So this is quite an interesting one. Obviously in the UK, you've got your traffic lights specifically at the line where you stop, and you've got another set at the far line. Well, obviously in Japan it doesn't quite work like that. You've got a far away traffic line and a line well before it. You're looking ahead before you're stopping, if that makes sense. You get a lot of time actually at the lights because it flashes for quite a bit. The other thing that's pretty similar to the UK is they will flash you out with their lights and they'll thank you with your hazards. The other thing to note is, and this is amazing actually, I've never seen any road rage. I have never seen anybody tailgating. I've seen people speed every now and again, but I've never seen aggressive driving or cutting in or people getting annoyed. Literally, if I drive in the UK for 20 minutes, I could see some of that behaviour. So another thing to note in terms of the actual driving differences, when you're turning right in Japan and you've got the green light, you still have to give way to pedestrians who may be crossing on the crossway. You know, a really small, annoying one for me. The indicators are on the right, whereas back home I'm on the left with the indicators. So many times I've been going to take a right and I've hit the windscreen wipers on. Another strange one is they like to, well, maybe strange is the wrong word, but they always like to reverse in. I actually enjoy it because I'm the only one that just goes forward into the space. So if I'm looking for my car, I just look for the one that isn't reversed into the space and I know it's mine. Most of the rentals here, by the way, are automatic. So it's quite unusual to get a rental with gears. The roads are pretty much the same in terms of the signs that you'd see in the UK. This is a stop sign. Occasionally you'll get a sign that has Japanese writing that says stop or give way, and that looks like this. The speed limit is obviously a lot slower over here. On the motorway it's 80 kilometers an hour. But you regularly see people going a lot faster than that, 80, 90, and it seems to be the rule that when you see a sign of like 40 or 50, travelling between 55 and 60 seems to be the normal. That's just how the speed that people drive at. I mean, I'm not saying for you to break the law, I'm just telling you what people here actually do in real life. Fuel stations, petrol stations, gas stations, whatever you want to call them. There seems to be two types. There is the type where you go up and there's a little guy or a little girl will come over and they'll ask for a card or money, and they'll take the card and money and then they'll put the fuel into the top. In a rental car is regular, and regular is red pump. So if you're doing it yourself, look for the regular red pump, and then this is where it gets tricky because most of the automated machines are actually in Japanese. So you might be worth having your Google Translate onto photo and just going over to see what the instructions are. What I've found, there's a couple of strange ones where I've had where I've followed the card prompt and it's taken the card payment, but the card payment came like 3 days later. So I was worried in case I was driving off without paying, but it went through. The second is just where it goes through quickly, and you can do Apple Pay and you get all nice options, which I've seen. And the third way is if you want to pay cash. Now on some of the machines, you follow the prompts to pay cash. And what you do is you put the cash into the terminal where you get the fuel. It takes the cash Now, you've got to guess how much. So if you put, let's say, 5,000 in, you fill it, and if it comes to 3,500, it spits out a receipt for you. Now, what you do with that receipt is you take it over to another pump round the far side, you put your receipt in, and it dispenses the amount that you didn't use on fuel back to you. It seems quite a strange system because I automatically tried to do it the UK way, where I would walk into the garage and they're all like, no, no, no. Now, my Japanese is basic, and a pre-warning, if you're driving in Kyushu, specifically in the island of Kyushu, there is 0 to 1% of people who speak English, so you will have to do a lot of communicating or learn a few basic Japanese words just to get you about. One final thing is tolls. Now, the easiest way to deal with that is to get something called an ETC from your rental car. Now, when it comes with that, basically what you do is you can drive up to any gate that says ETC, barriers open automatically, and at the end of the rental, when you hand your ETC card in, they charge you. Now, to give you an idea of costs, the toll charges, for me in Kyushu, I've done a lot of driving, so I've been all over the place. The cost of that driving is round about 10 to 12,000 yen that I have spent on tolls. Fuel is really cheap. I've spent somewhere in the region of 6,000 or so on fuel. So there's a huge difference between the two. If you're driving quite a lot, then maybe over a week you should be looking to budget for tolls and fuel somewhere in the region of about 25,000 yen. So in pounds, that's maybe about 120 pound or something like that, and in dollars maybe about $150. Over a week period, that's what you should be at least budgeting for tolls and fuel. One final thing I nearly forgot to tell you about, it's the parking. So the parking you'll see in places just like this, it's normally run by a company called Times, if you see that over there. And I'll show you out in the rain. So here's the actual here's the ramp, and you can see the ramp up, and then once you pay over at that station, so as you can see I'm number 9, and we'll just walk over to the pay machine. It's got an English option, thankfully. You just hit the English option, start payment, (0.9). Proceed to next page. Calculates the fare, 1,800. I do have an IC card, but it's not got enough in it. So next thing, I actually might pay cash. Got the 2. Get my change at the bottom. Okay, if you need a receipt, you can collect it from the bottom. Get the receipt, and then once you've got the receipt, you'll see that automatically, as quickly as that from underneath it's gone, and we can drive away easily. So that's your roundup of how to use the parking systems in Japan. Easy peasy, right?